Do you feel the vibes?
What's up, YouTube? It's Carolina Calvin coming back to you with another video. This video, see, I'm about to do that. This is spoilers for Shazam, full review. I didn't do the review non-spoilers because I just wanted to talk with the guys. I actually was supposed to see it yesterday, but I didn't get around to seeing it until today. But we're gonna get into Easter eggs, what we thought of the movie, and I guess kind of how we rank it amongst some of the other DCEU movies. Because I actually didn't think about that. MG brought that up before we went on the air. But Shazam, it was a movie. We saw trailers, so we was like, yeah, I'm gonna go see that. I thought they got the tone right. Just a kid with superpowers. It's gonna be jokes, but that was a pretty good story underneath. Him being an orphan and going from foster home to foster home. I thought that was done really well, and just the relationship with his with the foster home that he does get, relationship with all the characters there, I thought was it was they were gonna make sure that was the best part of the movie, and it was definitely the best part of the movie. Was just him getting his powers, and kind of interacting with his family, and kind of being pulled between, okay, I want to run out of here, or do I want to stay? So I thought those aspects of the movie, they did a really good job. This is what happens when you get a character with charisma, and he's a kid, and the movie was fun to watch. The action, once they got around to it, the CG was good. The villain they fought, villains, was the 7 Deadly Sins. They're essentially demons. That's all you need to know. I thought their CG was good. Overall, without necessarily going, beating you over the head with every single scene by scene, I thought overall the movie was great. What did you guys think?
I thought this was the first movie in DC's universe where you left the film and you were like, I love every character that was in the movie. From every part of the family, the little girl we spent a bunch of time talking about before we got on here. The villain was very good, I thought. Zachary Levi is a great Shazam. Jack Dylan Grazer, he was great in the movie. The entire family, from even the parents to the kids, it didn't really matter. Like, you could see a spin-off movie with just the family by itself. You want to be in that world, which I think is something that DC has failed to do really for the most part with their films. But in this one, you want to go back and see a Shazam 2, 100%. You want to be in that world and watch them again. So it was awesome.
Yeah, I remember the first time I saw Zachary Levi. It was in it was a while ago. It was a TV show. I think it's called Good Luck Chuck or something like that.
Good Luck Chuck.
Yeah, I remember seeing that, and then we got cast.
He was in that?
Yeah, he was the main character. No, was it Good Luck Chuck? Was it Good Luck Chuck? I had to look. But I think that's what it was. But even seeing him then, I was like, yeah. When he got cast, I was like, oh man, this is a good cast, because the guy, he has that, he could pass as that, like that, the childlike, kind of like the immature. He could pass as that.
He was
dude,
perfect.
You see the guy in the interviews, like, yeah, I can see. I can see.
You just reminded
I
me
can
of
see
this.
Billy Bastion.
I have one negative about the movie now.
What's that?
There are YouTube videos just before MG gets to his negative of Zachary Levi and the cast.
No, this is
over,
this is actually a good negative.
going over
what?
things about what's a good negative.
So before he got the Shazam role, fans were campaigning for him to play Hal Jordan
Yeah, I remember
in
that.
the DC Green Lantern movie, and I didn't know much about the guy. And now that I see the guy in Shazam, I'm mad that he's Shazam and not Green Lantern and not Hal Jordan. So that's my real negative. I'm mad. He did such a great job at Shazam. I'm mad that he's not Hal Jordan.
But
so
he brings that.
That's my negative.
You can truly believe that he's a kid. That's hard to act that way. That's not easy acting at all.
It's his acting chops. and
That's
I'm kind
excellent.
of pissed off that he's not. I'm kind of pissed off that he's not Al Jordan now. So
No,
he did such a good job.
It was.
I still don't know why Chris Pine isn't Hal Jordan, but that's a side point.
It wasn't Good
No,
Luck Chuck.
please,
It was just Chuck. It was a show that came out. Good Luck Chuck was that movie with
I was like, I don't remember him at Good Luck.
No, it
Chuck.
wasn't Good Luck. It was a show called Chuck. My bad.
Okay.
Yeah, and I remember seeing him. That was like 2007. And you knew he had charisma. He had that like the energy and stuff. You see that, and you see that in interviews, and you saw it on the screen here when he essentially had to play a child. I mean, he had to play a man child, pretty much.
They took someone from the MCU's background, and I think he was in
Thor:
Thor.
Dark World. Yeah, he was in Thor. Dark
yeah.
World. Yeah.
And they made him one of their stars. That's actually kind of funny.
Yeah.
I mean, Hyman Jonsu, another one, right?
Mm-hmm.
He came over from the MCU for this one too.
True.
Yeah. So what'd you think about MG?
I love the movie. Outside of my one angry that he's not Hal Jordan part. I love the movie. I thought the action was good. I thought the writing was good. The dialogue was really good. They found a way to write Billy's lines, when he was Shazam, in a way to where he still sounded like a kid, and he didn't come off as too much of an adult. Right, because he's still a kid, and you don't want to see him out there talking like he's a straight up grown up. So, I thought that was good. I thought the comedy bits in there were good. The CG was good. The villain, isn't that the guy from Kingsman?
It is. I think I recognize. I was like, is that the guy from Kingsman? I believe it is. Let me look.
Yeah, he is. He's a really good actor.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it is him.
Even what's it called? The guy who played his dad, who was in the wheelchair, wasn't that Lionel Luthor from Smallville?
Now you're going back. I don't know.
Is that him? He looks just like him.
Let me look at the cast. Let me look at the cast for that.
He looks just like the dude, right? I thought the Foster parents were good. I thought they were really good, actually. I don't have a real complaint about this movie, which is rare.
There's a good chance I'll probably go see it. I'll probably go see it again sometime during the week.
Yeah.
And there are no shallow characters. Like, you understand every character. You know, like, what they're about. There's no, like, character that just comes about and you have no idea what that character is or what they're about or anything like that. You kind of get a good sense of what they're about, every single character. So that's something that I think is very difficult to do, especially with all the different characters that they had in this film. It's crazy.
I'm usually the negative Nancy, but I don't have anything negative to say.
The guy that did the Wizard, he played the Wizard Shazam. It's from
Tommy Johnson.
Okay, you did mention him. Okay, I didn't hear you mention him. Yep.
Yeah, he's from Guardians.
But
this was also a hilarious movie.
Yeah.
Like, where would you rank this in terms of superhero funny movies? Like, it's in the top 5.
I'll put it up there. Yeah. You got like stuff like got stuff like
Ragnarok.
Ragnarok's up there.
First Guardians.
Yeah.
I thought Aquaman had some good comedy spots in it, especially towards the beginning of the movie.
Okay, we got to get the biggest, I guess, scene of the movie that had everybody like, oh man, the pretty much the Marvel kids. That's essentially what they call them. But once the kids got their powers, like, that was one thing that they kept under the wraps. It was something because how these movies, obviously we don't look for spoilers, but it tends to happen. To me, that came as a complete surprise. I thought it was just gonna be nothing but Shazam, and the kids were gonna be a part of the movie, just mainly kind of just dialogue for dialogue reasons. But to actually see them actually go in there and do something, I thought that was a big surprise because I didn't expect them to go there with the movie, which is gonna help the future of the movie. I think we talked about this. It's gonna help the future of the movie by them doing that.
Yeah, especially with the with the characters that they have. I mean, they can always do something where one of them, tries to go off on their own and suffer the consequences for it, and you got the family coming to save the day. And they set themselves up with a lot of good potential storylines. So I think it's borderline brilliant how they executed the movie.
Yeah, they did a really good job.
And just talking about before what we were discussing, Calvin, before even MG got in the chat, The Rock actually posted on Instagram today about like the movie and the success of the movie, and talking about kind of the production, because he was one of the producers for the film. And they were initially going to go with a Black Adam Shazam movie in the first movie and try and tell both stories in one. But he said, he's basically glad that he made the call to separate it. So there's going to be Black Adam in the next movie, which they're going to set up, which we'll get into. But I think it was a really good idea to try and focus on just Shazam, that family, get the characters done, get the characters really, really well done for the next movie, whatever they're going to do with Black Adam, and whether they want to do a Black Adam movie or not. But just kind of separating that, because it might have been too cluttered to have such a big villain like Black Adam and try and tell the story of both Black Adam and Shazam. But they did a great job of telling the story of Shazam.
Yeah, he's the one. It's The Rock playing him. Rock, Rock's a big deal. Two, it's his biggest villain, so they want to kind of save him. They want to use him in the first movie. So it was smart. It was smart the way they did it. So now you got Billy Bastion. You got all the supporting characters around him established now. Next, you're gonna get your Black Adam, to establish that character. Then you're gonna get the movie with both of them. So it makes sense the way they're doing it, and they're doing it is unlike because before all of it was leading to they're trying to get the Justice League, Batman v Superman, and kind of rushing that out. Now,
exactly.
Ever since they've been we're just gonna put out good movies. Yeah, they're gonna be references to those characters. They're gonna be references to those events. But we're trying to get good movies. And you saw that with Wonder Woman. You saw that with Aquaman. And now you see it with this movie, where they're just making good movies first instead of trying to connect it to an overall universe. Because that's essentially where they went wrong.
And they're actually being patient. They're being patient with it.
I mean, it could
for now.
It could eventually lead to something.
That they're being patient for now, but if they keep having success, that my concern would be that they rush to get out the next Justice League movie instead of kind of just keeping on the good, track that they're on now.
You would hope they learn from that though, from the last one.
But these movie companies chase money, man, and it's not just DC, but Marvel. All of these, you mentioned any franchise, they chase the dollars, and so I think they have to be cognizant of that themselves and just keep course. Don't rush anything. You got something good going right now, especially if the next if that Wonder Woman 1984 is really good, then you're talking about them having 3 hits in a row with Aquaman, Shazam, and Wonder Woman. So just keep course. Ain't no need to rush into the next Justice League movie or team up movie. Just let it ride out and kind of let it all happen organically.
Oh, and that guy, by the way, was Lionel Luthor. I'm just looking up.
He was? Okay, yeah, I thought I recognized
him. It was him, yeah. Yeah,
I think Wonder Woman 1984 is going to be their biggest turning point movie.
I have to see.
If
I want to see a trailer. I want to see how they do Cheetah. That could be a weird one to do.
I'm just saying, if that is a big movie,
yeah.
they are in line for some big things in the future. But if it's not, and they somehow screw up the character that basically started their success, it's going to be very disappointing.
Yeah, a lot of riding on that movie.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm definitely with Mitchell on that, especially because the bar's been reset now for female superheroes with Captain Marvel doing $1 billion. So the bar's been reset. So,
well, let's go ahead and get that out of the way, because we know Shazam wasn't always called Shazam. He was called Captain. He used to be called Captain Marvel. This back in like 1943.
You know what's funny about that is even on Wikipedia they're calling him Captain Marvel.
Yeah. Shit. We almost started the video and almost called him that. So
what was the joke of what was the joke of what Freddie was calling him? He was like Captain Sparkle something. Like it was a little running joke. Yeah.
Yeah, that's one thing that I caught in the movie. I said, "Oh, really?" But yeah, a bunch of references. But
Also, they had the Black Adam reference with at the beginning when he's like giving him his powers. He's like, I gave it to somebody else.
yep, and
And
it
it
was
out-
essentially
that
the guy
was-
who released the Seven Deadly Sins.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was kind of like brief story of Black Adam.
Also,
Like 1,000
love
years
the way
ago.
they intertwined Superman and Batman in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I actually really liked that.
They had a bunch of different, like the Batarang, which is a real Batarang, or the bullet that hit Superman, or you had the one kid who was like he had the two action figures. Like it was a bunch
he
of
was throwing
different.
the action figures at him when he was running through the
Yeah.
toy store.
Yeah,
Oh, Batman.
Get him, Batman.
like there's a bunch of different references. Because didn't the kid wear a shirt too as well?
Yeah, the kid was like his best friend was like a huge Superman fan. He had the backpack, he had the shirt,
Yeah. So
and then at the end we see Superman. It's not Henry Cavill, but we see him.
yeah. And if only Henry Cavill had still been there, they would have.
Well, that's the thing too. That moment also reminded me of this was the start of the end for Henry Cavill as Superman, because he didn't just want to do a cameo. He wanted another movie. So it sucks. He's gone.
Is he though?
I think he's done.
What if, let's just say Wonder Woman 1984 smash hit. DC's looking bright. They bring him back for Man of
reason
Steel.
I think
Because that's what he wants. He wants Man of Steel too.
Yeah. Well, the reason I think he's done though is because he might be the first unknown actor to get a superhero role and then turn in his career
Yeah.
explode afterwards. When you look at Mission Impossible, when you look at The Witcher, which that's going to tie him down. The Witcher's going to tie him down for a while.
Yeah. Depends on how it
especially with
goes.
how he's dedicated to it though, and so is
Yeah.
Netflix. Apparently, the first everything that they've shot so far, I think I remember seeing something about Netflix loves what they're seeing so far from it. So, he's starting his star's rising. So I don't
Yeah.
know if his schedule or even him wanting to be tied down to one character would be a possibility.
They would have to come to him, offer him more money.
Had to be a lot.
I think it
And
would
then-
have to
and
be
then
a lot of money. But
yeah,
I think
offer
it's
more money
warranted
and be
though.
like, okay, we're gonna, because think about it, they got kind of screwed over. I mean, look at all the things with Justice League, and then Batman v Superman was originally supposed to be Man of Steel 2 before all this stuff got changed around.
Or Zack Snyder. Yeah.
Yeah, and you got Zack
And then it's
Snyder
bad.
and all that.
See,
You wanna-
again,
you wanna
Zack
get in a
Snyder
bidding
is the
war
curse
with
of DC.
Do you want to get in a bidding war with Netflix right now when Netflix is throwing money around left and right, whether they have it or not?
Bro, they throwing it around.
So, a lot of exclusivity deals, which I would not be surprised if The Witcher ends up being really, really good. Netflix tries to sign Henry Cavill to some type of exclusive deal for movies and stuff.
The thing is with him is that we'll say that I think it's open for him to return is that he does really love playing Superman. Like he talks about that all the time, so I feel like it's a possibility. I'm not going to say it's going to happen, but if the things start going well for DC like it is right now, then I could see him coming back.
And
Hopefully, he's too good as Superman not to come back.
The biggest question though with DC is like how are they going to separate the crap from the good?
don't talk about it. When the movie comes up, you try not
But
to
like
reference any
from
any
their
of the
universe
events.
though, like let's just say they want to do Justice League 2. Like how the heck are
It's gonna be hard because I mean, you already like the Flash is gonna get recast. They have already said that because they just haven't even started the movie, so that he's clearly gonna get recast. I mean, the one, and it's crazy.
Who,
'cause-
Flash?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
as-
Because I thought he was
I
like
don't
heavily
know.
involved in
No,
the
I think
script.
I think they're supposed to start shooting later. this
I
year.
thought
Oh,
Ezra Miller was like
hearing he was gonna
partly
get
writing it.
recast. Oh, okay.
Yeah, the problem with that movie has been the writers and directors and producers. They've had to replace them about 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
Which I'm not surprised at that because of the shit show at DC and people just don't want to deal with it. Especially when you're talking about dealing with at the time Jeff Johns and Zack Snyder and differences of opinions
Especially
and stuff like
Snyder.
that. So
Getting
Well,
Snyder
now
out
it's
there was
just
big.
Jeff Johns, right?
Yeah.
no, he's just an advisor.
Yeah,
He's
they-
not
they-
even, they
they-
removed
Are you sure?
him from his spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just an advisor for them now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Who's the-
that
who's
when
the
they,
head
when they
guy?
had that big
I
change,
don't know.
it was, what was it, last year, early last year? It was after Justice League though, like right after Justice League, they like got rid of a lot of people from the top of the Warner Brothers media side, and Jeff Johns was one of them who got removed from his position, and they labeled him as an advisor, meaning you're only going to be doing comic book stuff for us, bro. So
Yep. I do remember hearing about that.
yeah, so that's one of the big changes you're starting to see too with some of the movies and stuff where, because I mean, as much as we blame Zack Snyder, Jeff Johns also had a hand in that because he enabled it and he was on board with it, you know. So
Yeah.
I think one of the big changes, and I like Jeff Johns for what he's done for the Green Lantern character in the comics and stuff, but the changes that they've made so far are working. When you're talking about, you know, 2 straight successful movies and people are looking forward to more. So
It's crazy that you
And the Batman starting to get underway too.
I don't know how excited I am for that though.
I'm super excited.
I need to see more before I can invest in it, right? Because I haven't seen.
I'm excited just because of the director. But I think Suicide Squad 2 is going to be good because
of
the director again. I have faith in directors more than anything.
James Gunn?
Yeah.
I'm not watching that movie at all. The first one was horrible, and now you're talking
Well,
about
it's totally different.
James. Now you're talking about James Gunn being involved. No, I'm good.
So you don't like Guardians?
I will not be seeing the third one.
Okay.
I don't know how you rehire somebody who had borderline pedophile and racist tweets. Like I don't play that. That's over.
But isn't it weird? Like, if they go to another Justice League, like their biggest characters now are not Batman or Superman. Like,
not yet.
At the moment,
that could be a good thing, though.
It could be a good thing. Because I mean, put it this way: Iron Man was not originally planned to be the center of the Marvel universe. It was going to be Cap, right? Yeah. And the Iron Man movie took off, and look at the success they've had. So I'm not opposed to the idea of somebody kind of catching fire for DC and kind of being that main focal point. That's not Superman or Batman.
The funny thing is, though, you would have thought it would have been Flash or Green Lantern or even Aquaman before Shazam and Wonder Woman.
Yeah, Aquaman, Shazam,
they haven't done anything with Green Lantern.
Man, they're afraid because of the movie that happened way back. But
but even if you think about for Marvel, I mean, Iron Man was never like top 4 for them. He might have not even been top 5 or 6 for Marvel before the movies. And boom, he took off. I mean, we all know Spider-Man's the alpha of Marvel, and then guys like Cap and Hulk and Thor and X-Men. Spider-Man's the alpha.
Spider-Man's like number 10 in MCU.
And just think of how big of the MCU franchise has been built to be without Spider-Man all this time.
Yeah.
Like, that's insane.
But it's funny because they're never going to make Spider-Man big. That's the crazy thing.
They don't have to. Spider-Man is Spider-Man.
The one thing, like, I think the difference is, like, they've lost their actors for the Batman and Superman. So who knows, like, they got to get new actors. At least with Marvel, all the guys have stayed around for the most part. All the guys have stayed around. It just kind of be like it was just kind of like, okay, from the beginning, right when that first Iron Man movie, people were like, oh yeah, this is the guy right here. So I think that was the change where they kind of made him the focal instead of being Cap because of how well the first one did. The Batman and Superman, they still like wanted him to be that. It was just direction of the movies, like I said, the actors leaving and stuff like that. It was just it was a lot going wrong, and no one expected Shazam, Aquaman, and Wonder Woman to essentially be your 3 biggest characters in your cinematic universe. No one expected that.
Well, the whack thing is just starting off. You have an old Batman to start your universe. Like, I love Ben Affleck, but to have him as your center of your universe when he's old.
I wonder who made that. I wonder who made that decision.
If you're gonna start it's fine if you're gonna do like a solo movie. I totally understand that. But if you're gonna start a universe, you need to have Batman be young.
Yeah. They got to be willing to call audibles. That's the one thing nobody ever gives Marvel credit for, is as great as most people think their movies are. They've called multiple audibles, and DC was not willing to do that at the beginning part of this DCEU. Like, at the point where we got to where Wonder Woman was the fire thing, like, they should have just called the audible and put her front and center. Like, it just should have been what it was, right?
Yeah.
And they didn't call that audible. I mean, because remember, Captain Marvel was originally supposed to come out like 2 years ago, and they pushed it back because of Black Panther's kind of early success in Civil War, and they were like, "Oh, we're gonna make this quick," right? And
I don't know.
They made that audible.
They didn't expect. I don't think they expected Wonder Woman to blow, like that movie to blow up like that. Because like even after Batman v Superman,
no, they didn't.
Even after Batman v Superman, there were people that said, "Oh, she, they didn't like Gal Gadot or whatever," or they talk about her body type and stuff like that. But then once we saw the first trailer for Wonder Woman, like that's when it was like people were like, "Oh, this looks pretty good. It looks like different from some of the early movies we saw." And then the movie actually came out
for Justice League.
Yeah, and at that point they probably had most of it done, and they didn't even want to change it. And the stuff they did change, it was like that movie was just rushed. That's just what it was. They wanted to get that big team up out there. I think they do another one, or whatever team up they do. I think hopefully they take their time on it.
That's what they need to do the next go around. Like from here on out, just Wonder Woman's the top property for them right now, and if that changes, and I mean, I don't know how well the Shazam movie is going to do, but if he blows up bigger than Wonder Woman, call the audible,
Aquaman,
make Shazam the front guy. Aquaman's another one, right?
Like Aquaman's done that shit's done $1 billion. No one expected that shit to do that much.
So you call the audible when necessary and put the right people in the front when need be. And you can push stuff out there and say, we'll see how this does. And if it does well, we'll kind of move it to the front. And if it doesn't do what we need it to do, then we'll keep it where it is, I mean, that's another thing too. They had called the other audible with Thor, right? I mean, going into Ragnarok, the plan was originally to make Thor the centerpiece of the MCU. Because if you kind of look at the focal points, they've shifted it from originally being Iron Man, then they kind of had to shift to Cap, and then Thor was going into this whole Infinity War thing. Mm-hmm. Thor was supposed to be the focal point, the centerpiece, so to speak. And they call it the audible. Perfectly fine. And I like Thor more than Cap and Iron Man, but they called the audible, and it was the right audible to call. Yeah. Same with Black Panther. With the success of Black Panther, Wakanda played a really big, part in Infinity War. So
it's like in basketball, you go with the hot hand.
Yeah, go with the hot hand. Just call the audible when necessary, and you'll be fine.
Wonder Woman and Aquaman, your hot hands. Give them the damn
wherever
ball.
The money is,
Give
and
them
wherever
the ball.
people are loving it. I mean, that's just the obvious business decision.
Yeah.
Yeah. And honestly, I think right now, if they did want to do a team-up movie with Aquaman, Wonder Woman, and Shazam, they'd be fine.
Yeah, people go see it.
You got 3 really strong, solid characters who have very, differing personalities and powers.
I think a Shazam Aquaman movie would be hilarious.
Hilarious, right?
I don't know how you would do it, but
Wonder Woman Shazam movie would be funny because Wonder Woman's so serious, and you got Shazam who's kind of
like Wonder Woman trying to mentor him or something.
Yeah, and you find you a 4th person depending on how these movies are going to turn out, depending on how the Flash movie turns out. Which I don't care if Ezra Miller's still in it, or if you finally get a Green Lantern movie, the ball rolling on a Green Lantern movie. Find a 4th person and you play it by ear.
Yeah.
They got something really good going right now.
Let me ask the obvious question. Going back to Shazam. Now we know the character. I brought this up earlier. The character back in 1943 was called Captain Marvel. Bunch of legal crap. He lost that name. He took the name of the wizard Shazam. Fine. This probably is the obvious answer, but which movie do you like more, Shazam or Captain Marvel? This is a question everybody's gonna ask me on Twitter.
100%.
Yeah, it's the question everybody's gonna ask me on Twitter, so we can just answer it here.
The original Captain Marvel.
Yeah, there you go. I just felt as though it was just since these are the last 2 movies, comparing them, and people are gonna compare. I came out with a tweet earlier today people are gonna compare box office. It's such a different situation. Whereas Marvel's running on a high. Like it's you're leading up to Endgame. Endgame is 3 weeks away. Like, and you know you coming off.
She's got some really nice help.
she got a lot of fucking help. And this is coming off. Yes, Aquaman's successful, but the DCU as a whole has mostly been a failure. It's mostly been a failure from critical acclaim. Money, whatever you want to talk about. You know, you see so many directors leaving and stuff, and for this movie to be good, it was tough. Like, I mean, Captain Marvel, Ant-Man, and Wasp, those movies didn't have to be good because still going to see Endgame. But if Shazam's bad, we're gonna look at any movie that comes out next. It's like, okay, I don't know.
When is it supposed to come out?
What, Endgame?
No, Wonder Woman.
Next year. They moved it back from. It was supposed to come out this year.
Yeah,
is that the next? That's the next film they have then.
Yeah, they'll have another film coming out. Oh no, Joker's the movie coming out October.
Oh well, Joker's
he's not part of. He's not part of the. Yeah.
I'm just saying like a DC. I thought you were just part of the DC movies.
Honestly, though, he could be. So I'm not necessarily.
They're kind of throwing spaghetti at the walls. Like, if this sticks, we'll kind of stick with it.
Yeah, if it's that successful, which I think it might be, then they might put him in the DC EU, but if they're even calling it that anymore. About Wonder Woman, though, a good point you made is basically just because the first Wonder Woman movie came off of such a down point in the DC universe and still did well. Imagine how well it's going to do now that Shazam has done so well and people are kind of buying into what they're selling now. The money is going to be so much better. Just the momentum and the hype for the movie is going to be so much better.
Yeah. And they got to take it a movie at a time and don't worry about, it's still in the plans to do something team-up-wise in the future, but they need to focus on getting the characters that you want to be in that team-up right instead of trying to rush out that team-up movie like they did with Justice League, like they did with Batman v Superman. I don't
even want to see a team-up movie until, we get everybody,
exactly. I don't want... Until we see, and we got 3 of the characters that were done well that's still around. I want to see them get a 4th one right until they even attempt to do a team-up movie. They got to either get Green Lantern... I would love to see them get both Green Lantern and Flash right before they even think about doing a team-up, to be honest. And then that's way down the line.
And I honestly think that Flash movie is going to be big for what they do with the future because it could... With Flash, you have an excuse to change things. In the movie, you could actually do, a timeline switch or some sort of thing.
Problem always with movies about time, it's easy to screw up.
Exactly.
It's easy to screw up the movie and your whatever you're trying to create from that.
Well, as long as Ezra is Flash, there's nothing they can do, in my opinion, to get that movie right.
Well,
hire Grant Gustin.
I really
don't even have to be Grant Gust. It's just Ezra Miller. As long as he's a part of it, there's nothing they can do to make me enjoy that movie or care about it.
Man,
what if he's amazing?
No.
I mean, if he's even close to what we saw in Justice League, I don't care about him.
Oh well, yeah, he was bad in Justice League.
Yeah. So, what do you guys scale of 1 to 10? What do you guys give Shazam?
8.5.
8. Huh.
I'm jumping out the window with a 9 out of 10.
What? I'm gonna...
I love the movie.
It's really, really good.
Yeah.
When we're not talking about any negatives, it's really good, and it has a lot of.
Any negatives that we can? Because every movie I think has negatives. Are there any negatives that we can?
Couple of the little parts felt a little bit rushed just for time purposes.
Yeah.
And then there was that one moment where the older sister, Mary, knew that they were the 7 deadly sins, and I'm like, how does she know that? I just randomly knows, because nobody ever talked to her about them or anything. She just knew they were the 7 deadly sins.
Yeah. And
she just knew that, how she knew a little too much off the bat, but that's just a minor detail that's it doesn't kill the movie at all for me or the moment.
Because I know
I would say one of the negatives was maybe the tones, balancing the tones, because There was some dark stuff and some really light stuff, and at certain parts it might have felt a little too dark at times, where it didn't really fit. But that was about it.
Because wasn't the movie done like the director was like a horror movie guy? I think I remember.
I believe he was, if I'm not mistaken.
I want to say I saw an interview that he was the horror movie guy who was doing this movie. He was gonna kind of blend the horror, like, and that's what people kind of wondered, like, what they're gonna do with the villain. And now you can see why they could blend a little bit of the horror, like when he went into the office and he pretty much just killed everybody in the office, even his brother, his dad. Like,
oh, when he picked his brother up and just threw him out the window.
Just threw him out the window.
This is what we going with? Okay, cool.
or the one of the demons bit the guy's head off.
Yeah, Venom style.
Yeah, and it was like, okay, that was something different because up until that point, probably the more like, I guess you can close to like being horror movie parts would be like when they saw the wizard and the wizard were being all creepy and shit. But other than that, you didn't really see nothing like that up until you got to that point in the movie. But a lot of people will have problems with the pacing, but it's an origin story, so I don't think that's necessarily a problem with the movie.
What was the problem with the pacing?
A lot of people say
Some of it just moves too fast, but I don't think it did. I don't think it was enough to take away from
That's what I'm
the
saying.
value or experience of the movie. It's just I think it's just a time constraint thing. You know, they only got so much time, so
it'll be the people who there wasn't enough action. You know,
they did a great job with like just the personal story with him as a child and like understanding his kind of struggle with being an orphan. They did a great job with that. I think they spent plenty of time on that. I don't really think there's...
And then
it's like super minor stuff. Like, for example, when he didn't know how to fly, right? And he was, when he first started flying in the mall or whatever, he had a rough time doing it, right? And then the fight ends and he goes sees his mom, and the very first thing he does after he jumps off the roof is he's flying perfectly. Like, he didn't have to practice or anything like that when he had to practice all his other skills, right? So it's a minor detail like that. It doesn't take away from it for me, but it's like I said, they didn't have enough time. Like, it's only so much time. The movie was what, 2.5 hours?
Yeah, I still think though, like at least for me when I was watching it, it still felt like that flight was still like a payoff. There was still a payoff there. Like, you're like, oh, you didn't know he could fly or he wanted to fly, and then you finally kind of saw him start to fly, and you, as an audience member, you kind of were like, oh, that's cool. You know, you're rooting for him a little bit. I still felt like there was a payoff there, even though they kind of skipped a step.
And we didn't see him shoot anybody at the end of the movie with lightning.
Yeah, that was. Man, he was doing that in the fight. In the fight,
he did the Shazam. Oh yeah, the fight.
He was doing that because they were both shooting lightning and like they was clashing and stuff, kind of like some Dragon Ball Z type thing. But they did do that. He did shoot the lightning there, but I don't think in like especially like he didn't do it as much as you thought as he should have. Seeing as one of his major power sets.
It's like minor stuff though. Like, it doesn't. Yeah. None of it takes away from the movie for me. You know, it's. And then every movie has its flaws.
Yeah, you had that legit moment when when the kids finally found out who his mom was. He goes to go see her. You mentioned his mom, when she explains everything to him, that she actually knew that she actually knew where he was at and stuff like that. And she's saying she was like 17 and stuff, and she pretty much just left him. I was like, you piece of garbage. She didn't even look like she cared.
Man, that was real too. That
actually looked like you like the kid did a great job acting that part, because he was just like, it was just like apathy. He didn't really feel nothing because he was like, you could look at his face. So the acting,
I think, was
really
essential to the movie though too.
Yeah.
It was like you needed that in there. I really feel like that was a bold move.
Yeah,
and like, if that doesn't come across right, it would have been pretty bad. And that's something that I don't think the MCU would ever even consider, to do something like that.
And you legit felt bad for the kid in that moment, right? You
yeah, exactly.
Because like he spent years trying to find out where his parents were, specifically his mom. He spent years, and to come and find out that's what really happened when she just let him go. And then he got to that point where he realized that the people that helped me find her, that's my real family. And at that very moment,
Yeah, and I think
he realized that.
I think it's a way deeper emotional moment too than just saying, "Oh, his parents died when he was younger." Like to find out that
because that would have been
two stops away.
No, you find out his mom's alive and she's a piece of garbage.
And it helped us understand why he feels a connection to his new family.
Yep.
It wasn't just something like, oh, you know, this is a new family, so he's gonna like love his family. No, we actually get a sense of why he loves the family.
Even the foster parents, like he kind of ran away. They went looking for him, and none of his other foster parents cared. They just said, "Oh, well, he's gone. Let's get rid of him." All those other times that he ran away, let's just get rid of him. No, they went out and looked for him. So, like I said, the relationship with him and the foster family, excellent. That was great. Best parts of the movie. Of course, when we saw them get their powers, that made it even stronger.
I loved the Queen montage part.
Mm-hmm.
That was an excellent part of the movie. Just the powers part with the YouTube uploading.
Yeah,
that was great.
We were showing a demonstration of him using powers and stuff.
That was awesome, actually.
Yeah,
very unique.
Because it's something a kid would do.
Exactly,
because it's showing like, oh, you got superpowers. I'm about to show that off to everybody.
I was watching it too. I was like, wow, he's getting like 100K on every video here.
So, I would give it. I'll give it an 8. You know how like I always change my score because I'm gonna see it again probably Tuesday.
I feel like you liked it the least.
I liked it the least
out of us 3.
Yeah, I mean, but I still liked it a lot.
So
I still like it a lot. And I'm like I said, I'm gonna see it again, and that score could change, but I'm gonna go with the 8. I thought the movie was really well done. I'm kind of like strict on some of my scores. I don't give too many movies.
The problem I have with it maybe is it didn't feel like epically great.
Yeah, with the fights and stuff, I would say yeah.
But it was really fun and it was really heartfelt. Like it was a really good movie just to watch, but it didn't feel like an event. So that's why it's at like an 8 for me, but it's not like a 9 or a 10.
Like people expected like you remember watching Man of Steel and the destruction that was caused in that. People expected that in a fight, especially with characters with essentially similar power sets, and it's shown that the guy was pretty powerful. Like the most problem he had was just finding out what powers he had, how to control them. So I guess people expected that grand, like just eye candy, destruction, explosions. People expected that as like that final fight. So I think they kind of dropped the ball on that. But what they did give us was good. It just wasn't that grand fight scene, I guess, that usually these movies have at the end of them, at the ending after the movies.
I forgot to mention too.
What's that?
The time freezes in slow motion at the end of the movie when Megan Good was running.
Oh, tomorrow she was running on the Ferris wheel?
Epic.
Yes. I was like, oh, man, this is how the Flash shit.
And you freeze the frame
like
and you
see
right
out of Flash.
That's how the Flash shit
it was epic.
Yeah.
Actually, I like the CG of the yellow streak behind them when they were running.
That's how Flash shit should look. Why did Flash have lightning?
The one that they use, and the freeze frame of her at the very top of the Ferris wheel when she grabbed the 2 people, and you got the Sin coming up from behind, and she runs down the side and knocks off the other Sin. It was great.
Give me a second. I can find that.
They should just have this director do Flash.
Honestly, whoever directed this, they need to just keep on board, like all together.
Well, like I thought that after I saw Wonder Woman, Patty Jenkins should do Man of Steel too. I think this guy, David F. Sandberg, should do Flash.
The 2 people they definitely need to keep around is who did this movie, and I can never pronounce his name, but the guy who did Aquaman.
James Wan.
Yeah, James Wan. Because visually, James
Wan,
knows what he's
Mr.
doing.
Fast and Furious.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing visually, and obviously the guy who did Shazam knows what they're doing in terms of tone and comedy.
This guy's done nothing but horror movies up until this movie.
You know what's,
I'm looking
you know
down
what's
at
funny
IMDb.
is a lot of them now, like James Wan is a big horror guy.
Yeah.
So obviously, like, there's something with the. I mean, Sam Raimi was a horror guy. There's something with this horror thing.
That they can actually do superhero movies. Yeah.
It's well, with the horror movie thing, it's probably got something to do with I wouldn't say the practicality of what the movies do, but it's, what's a good way to put it? They don't try to overshoot their boundaries.
Yep.
Right. It's still somewhat grounded in what they do. Right. Like,
that's probably why we didn't get that big grand fight scene at the end.
Yeah. It's grounded, yeah.
Yeah.
Grounded and sort of like practical.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Get Sam Raimi on Superman. I've changed my mind.
And the thing with horror movies is, a big thing with horror movies that is not the same with any other genre is the shots are important, right? Like, because shots in horror movies are a moment of time, right? And in horror movies, it creates so much emotion of either fear or happiness at the end, or sadness, and that's kind of what these movies. That's kind of what Aquaman and Shazam did here, right? Where you the shots kind of captured moments in time, and that's something that you don't really get in other genres.
Yeah. So let's see.
I think
those guys did a good job, like, especially for a guy like in this movie. I think the only notable movie he did was like Annabelle. I don't know if y'all remember that.
Yeah, I think I saw it.
I think that's like the only movie that people would actually know if you mentioned it to them that he's done. Other than that, mostly like kind of like B horror movies and stuff like that. And for him to do a movie like this big,
well, actually, he's only ever done 3 movies.
Yeah, I think some of the other ones are like shows or something. Right?
They're shorts,
yeah,
like
short
movies.
Yeah.
This is like, he's done Lights Out, which I've never heard of.
Nope.
He's done Annabelle Creation, which I saw, and he did Shazam. That's it.
Yeah, see, for a guy to not done that much, and for him to do a great job with the movie, I mean, just go to show you don't have to get this. You don't have to get this big act. I mean, you don't have to get this big director to do your movies. Because a lot of times you get those big directors, there's an ego that comes with it.
Yes, but that's where we've seen with superhero movies where they've been successful.
That's what happened to Zack Snyder. It was
because it's ambition, though.
Yeah.
Like, it's the ambition of the smaller creator and the smaller director to take all this money now that they have at their disposal, and they're still grounded in what they do with the limited amount of money, and then they get this huge budget and they're able to do so much more. Once that director becomes big and is used to the big budget, it becomes less of a movie.
Yep. So we'll have to see how how it turns out for him in the future. But let's see. In the credit scenes, of course, we see Superman just before the credits. Yep. They cut off his face, and then in the
It was Henry, though.
Yeah. You tell body type. Then you got the mid credits, which was kind of them going into whatever they're gonna do for the next villain. It's an old villain. I actually looked it up. It was books I didn't read. They were old books. But I think it was like some kind of worm thing that what was it called? I can't remember.
Yeah, a lot of people in the theater were like, "What the heck was that?"
Yeah.
It was the thing missing from the case.
Yeah. And it's supposed to have like psychic powers. So they're definitely bringing this director back because there's gonna be all horror elements with that. So you're gonna see it in the movie at some point. But overall, I mean, movie's good. I'm going back to watch it again. What would you rank it? Before we end the video, what would you rank it amongst your DCEU movies?
I think it's first or second.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm with Mitchell on that.
I got a second, personally.
Behind what?
Wonder Woman.
Yeah, I think it's first or second.
I got it over Aquaman, though. I actually enjoyed it more than Aquaman.
I think I got Man of Steel still my number one.
Man of Steel. Yeah, I forgot to
I
to
love
even
Man of
bring that
Steel.
up.
I do love Man of Steel too. I don't know why.
I got Man of Steel fourth. It's still really it being in that spot. It's still really good and it's very underrated.
I love Wonder Woman too. I think I liked Wonder Woman a lot more than you guys. Actually, no. I guess
I
Calvin liked.
No, I had Wonder Woman the first one.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough because they're so different. Like, once I saw the movie, I was thinking about it in my head, and I was like, where would I rank this? But it's one of those movies that's so different that it's hard to say it's first, second, third. Like, I guess it depends what you're rating it on. I don't know.
Because once you get past 4, who gives a damn?
Yeah.
Once you get past 4, who gives a damn about the rest of those movies? Like,
Well, there's 7, right?
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, the bottom 3 are bad.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, Suicide Squad,
Batman v Superman.
Justice League.
Yeah. Who cares about
I
that?
would actually say Batman vs Superman's better than Justice League.
Yeah.
Well, those are just the bottom 3.
Yeah.
The bar is set low for that.
Yeah, but for me, I got Man of Steel 1, and I'd probably go Shazam, or I go Shazam and Aquaman 2 or 3, interchangeable for me at 2 and 3, and then Wonder Woman 4.
Why is Wonder Woman low for you?
He doesn't like Gal Gadot.
Oh.
Not just that, but I didn't walk out of that movie feeling better than I did walking out of the other 3.
Yeah.
I love Man of Steel. Man of Steel's number 1 for me.
Yeah, Man of Steel's great.
And then Shazam, I don't have any issues with Shazam. I can't fathomably put Wonder Woman over Shazam when I don't have any issues.
Honestly, thinking about it, I'm gonna change Aquaman and Man of Steel. I had Man of Steel third. Just really thinking about that movie.
Yeah, and then for me, Aquaman. I love Aquaman. I thought the movie was really good, especially some of the camera work that they had in that movie. The CG was clean too. Like I really didn't have many issues with Aquaman.
They're finally getting their CG right. Finally getting their CG right. You know, Aquaman.
I think what hurt Aquaman was that it was in the same year as Black Panther. Because it's like the same story. Even though Aquaman did it first, I'm just saying, like, it hurt the movie.
I don't think it hurt the movie. I don't know. I don't think it necessarily hurt it. Like, a lot of people won't even draw to that comparison. You just did. There's a lot of people that overlooks that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. But anything else you guys wanted to add?
Not really.
Yeah, I think we covered the entire movie. Of course, we're getting Wonder Woman.
I just want to say shout out to my favorite scene in terms of comedy, where they were in the sky and Mark Strong was telling him his plan, but Shazam couldn't hear him.
He's like, I can't hear you. You're like a mile away.
That was
I can't
my
hear
favorite part.
The dude's like, I'm gonna tear your heart out and eat it.
Or when Shazam teleported all of them to the strip club and they were walking out.
Yeah.
Oh,
she said they have glitter, and she's young with that type of glitter.
that was funny. Like, it was like, even when he first went to the strip club, it was like, what's the place you really wanted to go? And cut away, he's coming out of the strip club. He said, I need more money. He said, why? He said, they're very convincing. I thought that was great. Yeah. But you got Wonder Woman. No more DC movies coming out for the rest of the live action ones. Well, if you want to count Joker, whatever they plan on doing with that, so I guess that counts.
I'm excited for Joker. What do you guys think about Joker?
I don't want to see a Joker.
I like Joaquin Phoenix, but
I think he looks great in the part. But
yeah, he looks great, but they haven't done anything for that movie to interest me, so to speak.
Oh, I don't think they're really gonna put anything out in trailer wise that's gonna be like out of this world.
No.
Not just that, but I don't want to see Joker sitting at a table having a date with a girl. Like, this is like, I don't want to see Joker be a street clown. Like, it's just
it's his origin story, apparently.
I like the mystique of it, right? Like, and that's one of the things I like. I mean, you watch Gotham too.
Yep.
I mean, how long was it before they just outright said Monahan was Joker, right? They still really haven't even necessarily
They haven't said it yet,
right? It's kind of like, he could be a precursor, he could be Joker, he could they kind of left it kind of a open book type of mystery, and I like that about how they did that character, right?
Mm-hmm.
Versus this one, this is Joker and this is his backstory, and I'm like, oh,
okay. Yeah, I really like. I know people that are really excited for it. I personally, I mean, coming out in October, what else comes out in October? So I'll probably go see it.
There's so many good movies coming out this year. This year is gonna blow away last year.
Next month's gonna be like pretty good too.
Yeah.
Next month you got Toy Story. You got I'm going to see John Wick 3. I don't know about you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about
Hellboy's next week.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's gonna be good, but it's next week.
Trailers, I don't know. But probably next time we're definitely gonna do
Avengers.
Yep, Avengers Endgame.
I am seeing it on Friday.
Yeah, I'll let people know on Twitter when we plan on doing it. We gotta kind of link up the schedules, but we're gonna do it earlier than we do like a video like this. We're gonna try to get it as early
normally
as possible.
guys are waiting on me.
Yeah.
Normally, because I'm working. Normally, I don't get a chance to see it till like later in the the end of the weekend or anything. But I actually got opening night tickets, so
yeah. So it will be more than likely Friday, but I'll let people know on Twitter. But go ahead, plug your stuff, guys.
You can find me on YouTube, The Bottom Line View, talking NFL. On Twitter at Mitch Milani, Milani.
you know me. I'm on Twitter, Virtuoso Sports, talking sports, and on Bliss Sports Network.
Yeah, I was about to change the Twitter name to something else. If you haven't already subbed, please do that. Like this video. We're definitely gonna come out with more superhero stuff, and also I have to get to talking about the NFL draft for the Panthers. I haven't talked about that yet. But,
Calvin, we also need to do that list.
What list?
MCU list.
We gotta wait till the end of the game, but that list is coming. Matter of fact, we're gonna do that in the exact same video. So just let people know we're gonna do that.
It's gonna be a long one.
Yeah, it's gonna be a long one, but that movie deserves it. That movie deserves it because look how much is going into that movie. But anyways, we're out. Peace.